Good morning, brothers and sisters. It is 10:47 a.m. Central Standard Time on February the 6th, 2022. I hope our Creator is keeping you well and safe wherever you are in the world. We did have a C flare just recently happen as kind of a long duration event, which leads me to believe that there's going to be plasma incoming with this one. So let us go take a peek at Enlil and see if the Anunnaki sun god, the Sumerian sun god, is going to tell us that there was one or not. Let's come on down here, and it is not up to date yet. That seems quite typical, doesn't it? Well, let's come over here to Space Weather Prediction Center from Space Weather Live, and here's our C flare that did actually happen. And as we can see, it is a pretty decent long duration event. I mean, it lasts for, well over an hour. And that's where I managed to hit, for the most part, out in the ocean, but also hit the east side of South America. So, Rio de Janeiro, you guys are on the aiming point, really, the center of the bullseye. Come directly over here to Space Weather, to ISWA, and we're going to look at our sun. We're going to look at 193 angstroms of light, and then we're going to come over here and look at our overlay of 211, 193, and 171. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start here for today. Now, yesterday there was not a lot of activity, so that's why I didn't do a video, folks. I am doing okay. And if we look, now I want everybody to see something. I actually happen to follow a gentleman. His name is Bruce. Bruce Sees All. Okay, and he actually is showing, he actually has a really nice Celestron scope, 14-inch, where he actually looks at the sun with actual sun lenses himself. And he has just recently, today, shown a video where he says that the sun has rotated and the sunspots, instead of looking at it this way, are actually going this way. So as we can see the sunspots going this way, he's saying that now they're going this way at an angle. And he's showing it from 4:30 in the morning, and then he shows it again at like 10:30 in the morning from yesterday, and it shows them going this way. And my first thought was, okay, he's just tilting his camera off to the side, because the camera doesn't know the difference on keeping things straight. So he just rotated his camera that hooks up to the back of his scope, and he's viewing it that way. Which, that was the first thing off of my mind. But then I started thinking, between 4:30 and 10:30 is the time when we have this guy come in. Remember, he comes in from the top right. Okay, and I've been calling this our mothership, which really it could still be. And it's covering our view of the sun. But what if the satellite is actually making its adjustments? So that way when it leaves an hour later, it's properly adjusted for us to see a continuation of the sunspots going in the same direction, where actually the sun did rotate and it's going this way, but the satellite tilted from bottom to up a little bit so that it can adjust for that. That's my thought, that's exactly what it could be. But anyways, back to, and I have reached out to him. Hopefully he'll give me a shout out on Telegram, and then we'll have a follow up. So as we can see over here, we did have a little bit of a filament release right here. Okay, there was one little whip, so that's not too much of a concern, just a little bit. We got a little more activity here. Looks like some liftoff here, and looks like right here we are going to have plasma incoming. That's our C flare. And yep, sure enough, whoosh, coming right. Yep, that is directly facing Earth. So that is an inbound plasma filament. It may not be super big though. It looks like it is going to be an impact, but it's not going to be a major one. So nothing to worry about. One of the other things I want to take note of is, look at this over here. We got a nice, perfectly round, looking like object right here. That half of it is here. And plasma from our sun is being sucked up over to this area. Is that a black hole? Is it a some form of mothership or something, taking stuff away from us. Now this goes back to the 3rd. Okay, I actually did go back quite a ways because it does show our rotation, and it shows that guy coming in. But now, as we're getting to the 5th, I'm going to slow it down just a little bit, and we will actually see the plasma start to accumulate and start heading towards this rounded object here, and you can see it has a nice fine point develop. See that? Concentrated lift from one point, from the sun, from a wider basin to a point, and going over here in this nice round direction. Actually, you can see like a round direction here, and then it's almost like a smaller one right here in the middle. And then here we're about to have our eclipse of whatever type of mothership that is. And then we get past it and things clear up a little bit, and then we see our little liftoff here coming a little bit. We might get a teeny smidget of that. That's, not really a whole lot. But this is what we're going to be getting. You guys see that? I'm going to back it up here. You see this coming off. Whoop. That is going to impact us right there. And it does look like it looks like it actually impacted like a small solar tsunami here. You can see the whole surface of the sun just kind of alter and change from that. But this is as far as it goes, because we're at that time, but you can clearly see there is something around here now, and it is sucking the plasma up right to it. So I found that interesting. Now here's another thing that I found very interesting. I came over to spaceweather.com. I do come here and I tell you guys about it, and I happened to look here, and they were talking about huge solar prominence, down here on the sun, on the bottom end of it. And I'm like, okay, I can see that. But do you guys notice something here? Here's the sunspots over here, rotating on an angle. Do you remember what I was telling you guys? Hang on, let me back this up here. You remember what I was telling you about that? We're looking at it this way, but the other guy down there, he's looking at it like this. Bruce shows the same thing. So over here, you can see the sunspots are going this way at an angle. What would make our sun tip? Because if we had tipped like that, I would imagine us being able to feel that. I mean, that's an hour to tip, to do that tilt. That literally takes about an hour. So how could we tip like that in an hour and not feel it? That doesn't make any sense, because people that watch stars, and I do watch the stars, we would know that, because we'd be like, whoa, wait a minute, the stars are not in the same place. What's happening here? It would be something that's very noticeable. But the sun tipping, we're not going to notice it unless you're looking at it through here. Well, what would cause our sun to tip? We'll go over that in a minute. But here's the thing that really kind of got my attention is you look right here. What a dreamy sunset. This guy here says his name's Eduardo Schauberger Papel of Rafaela, Argentina. Okay, so he's the one that got this in Argentina. The image brings together our rural landscape adorned by a pair of caranchos, birds of prey. Birds of prey? Well, these are Klingon war birds of prey. I just found that kind of interesting, kind of ironic. Out of curiosity, I'm like, well, wait a minute. Is that what these guys are? A war bird of prey? I mean, that looks like a bird, but it's not. You can clearly see a propulsion here. You can see more propulsion engines here while it's in the sky. Here it is again. There's his tail, wings. There's propulsion again. Now, this is in our atmosphere, by the way, brothers and sisters. Here he is again. So, and there's another one. So, is that a war bird of prey? I mean, I see a bird. I see lights, engines, propulsion system underneath it. Very clearly. I mean, that's a bird. So, is that what these guys are that I'm seeing out in space? Are they war birds of prey? Is that these guys coming out of the sun? through the sunspots, through the solar flares, using it as a stargate or star portal? Or wormhole, if you will? Is that what this guy is here? Brazing by the sun? Zoom! Curious. Is that what these guys are? You know, in battle formations? Like off to war or something? Makes you wonder, doesn't it? Is that what these guys are? Warbirds of prey? I mean, this looks like a bird. There's his wings, the head of the bird, the tail of the bird, and his little fla-la-la-la coming out behind him. Looks like a bird to me. If we get back here at spaceweather.com, we can clearly see that we have a sunspot. We have sunspots here and here. And then we have some down here at the bottom that we just don't see over here. I mean, we can see the cluster here and here, and it looks like it's these two guys going this way at an angle. So, you tell me, are we at an angle, folks? What is going on here? In fact, I'm going to do this right here. I'm going to take a screenshot of that and have that for comparison, because that's interesting. Lots and lots of questions, folks. Stay safe out there, and remember that love is the only way forward.